Hey! Hi! How you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So a while back I was asked a very good, very interesting question that inspired me to make a video solely about it. That question being, what video games give you your flow? What video games give you good flow? What video games do you play that have you in the zone? What is it about those video games that do it for you? Now for everyone, every gamer, it is different. For some people, it's all about that visuals, the visual spectacle, the high fidelity textures, the natural realistic lighting, the special effects, the animations. For some people, they're in their flow, they're in their zone when they're looking at the best of what gaming graphics have to offer. For others, it's narrative, it's story driven. People play games, people get immersed in games, people find their flow in games when they are engaged in the story. They care about the characters, they care about the lore, they care about the intricate plot details, and the overall narrative, the overall plot linking everything together. A video game telling a story with a solid beginning, middle, and end. But for me, and I'm sure many others, it's all about gameplay, and for me, it's gameplay mechanics. More specifically, the number of and the synergy of gameplay mechanics. It's one of the reasons I don't like as much or play as much older games. Games from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Because those were the time of simplistic gameplay mechanics, and a minimal amount of gameplay mechanics. Nowadays, game developers strive and innovate to fit as many mechanics as they can into their gameplay. Which is why I love why I make videos on, and why I keep playing more of newer games. To provide some examples of video games that I love, that have excellent gameplay mechanics, games that get me in the zone, and give me my flow, that have me totally immersed and I spend multiple hours on in a single gaming session. Doom, Titanfall 2, Warframe, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, For Honor, Evolve, the Dead Space games, the Mass Effect games, the Crysis games, Skyrim, Fallout 3 and 4, The Division, and last but not really last because I can go on forever, and certainly not least, the Dark Souls games. One thing you'll notice that all these games have in common is when it comes to gameplay, when it comes to movement, combat, and interactivity as a whole. Nothing is limited to simply one option, and many of these options work together and synergize with one another, so that you are performing a multitude of actions in rapid succession at the same time. I know there are good games out there with simple and limited gameplay mechanics, but they're simply not for me. I could play them, and I'm sure I can enjoy them, but I won't enjoy them as much, and I won't play them for nearly as long as other games that just do more and have more. There are games out there with limited movement mechanics that only have you walking, running, maybe crouching as well. I much rather prefer games that have walking, running, crouching, as well as jumping, double jumping, wall running, sliding, flying, climbing, dodging, rolling, and even friggin' teleporting. I know there are some good games out there with very simple, very limited combat mechanics, such as shooters that just have you aim and shoot and really nothing else, and hack and slashes where you just look at the enemy and just slash them with normal attacks. I much rather prefer and greatly enjoy games that allow you to aim, shoot, switch to multiple different weapons, have alternate fire modes on those same weapons, use special abilities and moves, be able to use light attacks, heavy attacks, combo them, block, parry, counter, switch from melee combat to range combat and back again. All these things and more help keep the games interesting for me. Basically, the more gameplay mechanics a game has, and the more they synergize with one another, the more they work together to help create gameplay moments that are truly your own. Gameplay moments that have you doing exactly what you wanted to do. Those moments you imagine in your head, brought to life via the game, through its gameplay mechanics and the multitude of different gameplay mechanics at your disposal. Allow me to provide some more in-depth, detailed examples. When it comes to first-person shooters, well, there's always Doom. Doom's multitude of different weapons with different functionalities and different strengths and weaknesses have you switching between all of them on the fly for all the different demon enemy types that you face. And having a double jump alongside your movement allows you to carefully position yourself and dodge enemy attacks. And of course, there's the glory kill system, which encourages you to get into melee combat, get into the thick of the fight, since glory kills provide you with health and ammo. Doom's gameplay mechanics work in such a way whereas the more you fight, the more aggressively you fight, the more you get to fight and survive. Then we have what I've been recently playing a lot of, For Honor. For Honor's excellent melee combat, which allows you to block, parry and attack from 3 different directions. Also having light attacks, heavy attacks, comboing the two to create unique combos and special attacks that are unique to which of the different playable hero characters you're playing as. Just everything about For Honor's gameplay mechanics are so engrossing and exciting. It's a free-form hack-and-slash game and a 1v1 fighting game all at once. Then we have video games that have you switching between ranged, melee, and stealth combat. Some excellent examples in my opinion are Warframe and Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Games that have you switching on the fly from melee combat to range combat to stealth, where Warframe has more of an emphasis on ranged combat. Mordor has more of an emphasis on melee, both of them having their own unique strengths and possibilities for amazing unique experiences. In Warframe, you have a variety of different Warframes to play as with different stats and attributes and special abilities. And in Shadow of Mordor, your playable character Talion has a plethora of different moves and abilities for both offensive, defensive, stealth, and so much more. If you know of these games, if you've played these games, you have an idea of what I'm talking about. These are deep games with a large number of gameplay mechanics. You're never doing the exact one thing over and over again. Whereas with older games, you're usually doing the exact 1 or 2 things over and over again. Whereas with all these other games I'm talking about, you're always performing something different. You're never doing one thing for too long that it becomes repetitious and monotonous. In Doom, when you're not walking around exploring the environment and collecting items, you're shooting demons, performing glory kills on demons, jumping around, switching weapons. In For Honor, if you're not running around exploring the environment, then you're killing hordes of smaller, lesser minions or getting in a 1v1 fight, a duel with someone else where you have to predict their attacks, where they're going to block, time your parries and counters. In Warframe, you're constantly changing out and using the different abilities of different Warframes, while switching from a primary firearm to a secondary firearm to a melee weapon. And in Shadow of Mordor, well, I think you're getting the gist of what I'm talking about here. And in these games, I have a flow. I'm in the zone. I am totally immersed and engaged in what is going on. For me, what video games are, what in my mind they're supposed to be, is they're supposed to be recreations of your fantasies. They are experiences and opportunities for you to live out fantasies. And while video games will always have some sort of limitations, the more options for interactivity you give me in your game, the more options in terms of gameplay mechanics, the possibilities I can have, the possibilities you allow me to create for myself, well, in my mind, for me, that is the best of what gaming has to offer. In all the video games I've mentioned in this video and so many more, I've been able to live out fantasies while playing these intricate mind games, these chess matches of trying to balance out and work, utilize all the different gameplay mechanics to do what I want them to do, to make the strategies in my mind a reality. So again, what makes me like a video game? What gets me into a game? What engages me? What gets me in the zone? What video games give me my flow? What do they gotta do to do that? They've gotta have a multitude of different gameplay mechanics, and they gotta have them synergize with one another. You do that, I'm probably gonna like the game, I'm probably gonna get into the game, I'm probably gonna drop several hours of my life into the game. However, that's just me, and this is a very interesting question. This is a very interesting topic that I hope to discuss more of. In different ways, maybe in greater detail, who knows? What I know though is I am incredibly fascinated to see what you guys type in the comment section down below. I am genuinely curious. What video games give you your flow? What video games get you in the zone? How do they do that? I am so totally curious and want to spark a conversation and discussion in the comment section. I can't wait to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know in the comment section down below. I love reading comments. I get nearly enough comments. Please leave a comment. If you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video if you hit the like button. If you want to help out and support this video, then please be sure to share it on social media, Twitter and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I'll see you all later.